everybody. I'm Blessed and Free. Welcome back to another episode of DOC TV. So I've had this guest on before. He told a little bit about his story. We're going to get deeper into what he went through. He was in a federal prison in Kentucky, and he's got a good story. He also has a book that's on Amazon. It's called Blood on the Razor Wire. You guys got to check it out. If you want to hear about what really goes on in prison, that raw content, war stories, all the violence and everything else, you got to go cop that book. So, man, for the people that don't know you, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to the people watching at home?
All right. My name's Chad Marks. At the age of 24, I was sentenced to a 40-year federal mandatory minimum. At that time, I went to the most dangerous, violent federal prison in the United States. It was USP Big Sandy in Inez, Kentucky. I spent 17 years, 5 months, 21 days of my life in prison on that 40-year sentence. I was eventually granted compassionate release by the judge. And what I did was I wrote a book, Blood on the Razor Wire. The book takes you into federal prison and shows you what's real. I read so many books that dudes wrote that were in prisons, that were in minimums and lows, camps. They can never tell my story because they never experienced what I experienced. They've never seen what I seen. So that's why I wrote the book. The book is, it's pretty violent. A lot of, stuff going on in federal prison. People think it's camp fed, but 100% not camp fed. It's something that you can't even explain in words, man. But, I did my best in writing that book. It's the first prison memoir ever. You never heard of a prison memoir, right? So it's the first one out. Again, Blood on the Razor Wire. And it's pretty violent, man, but it's real. And people need to know what's really going on.
So to give people an idea of what federal prison is like, what happened your first day when you got to Big Sandy? Like, how does that go?
So the first day when I got to Big Sandy, as soon as I walk into my unit, a bunch of white dudes like surrounded me and the cop. And the cop was like, look, you're going into this cell. And they're like, no, hold on. We'll let you know what cell he's going into. So they pulled me off to the side. And they're like, hey, man, who do you run with, man? Do you run with the blacks, the whites, the Hispanics? Who do you run with? And I'm like, man, I'm white. I'm from New York. And they're like, okay, I'm from New York. And dude was like, you're going to come with me. Or it was a dude from Boston. He said, look, man, we got a Boston, New York car here, East Coast car. You're with us. He said, I'm going to find you a place to stay. And he gave me two options, two cells. And I picked one of the dudes, this old man, Mr. Young. I write about him in the book. And he went and told the cop. He said, hey, look, he's not going to cell 225. He's going over here to 120. And the cop was just like, all right, cool. So I ended up, talking to the guys. I wasn't there an hour, bro. And one of the dudes from the black New York car slapped the CO in the middle of the day room, like slapped him. And the cop, and then all the black New York dudes surrounded the cop. And the cop just grabbed his face and he's like, what'd I do? And I was like, where am I at, bro? Like, this really happened. And I'm like, oh yeah, this shit's serious. So, that was my first experience in the unit. And just before I went to the unit, we were walking down the hallway with our bedrolls, and I hear the alarm going off, the body alarm. They put us on the wall, and I see some white dude coming by in a stretcher, all bloody, and I see these other three white dudes. I'm a pretty big dude. So when the white dudes come by with their cuffs on, they kind of nod at me. I'm like, yeah, what's up, man? Lo and behold, those dudes ended up those were my homeboys, from New York and Boston. They had jumped on a white dude that was trying to rape some young white dude. So the dude was a booty bandit. So that's why they smashed him off the yard. They ended up, smashing him because the white kid went to them and was like, look, man, I need help. This dude's trying to rape me. So that was my first day, man. That was my first experience at Big Sandy.
The guy's trying to finesse the dude to rape him, like playing him?
Yeah, well, what he was doing was just trying to be like smooth with him and shit. And then I guess, dude, I don't even know if it's appropriate to say it. The dude was like, yo, man, I want you to give me a blowjob. And the kid was like, hell no. This is what really happened, dude. He ran out of the cell, went to one of the shot callers and said, hey, man, this dude's trying to rape me, man. And they act like they were talking to the dude. See, this was the day before I got there. All this shit happened. They ended up getting him the next day. That was the day that I came. So they just acted like they were going to talk to the dude like they were listening to his story. The dude was saying the kid was lying, whatever, but they knew the kid wasn't lying. So they waited for him to go outside. They told him, hey, man, we're going to go out and play softball, man. Come on out. And when they told people in our car, they'd say, hey, get your cleats, man. We got a softball game. That was pretty much like, man, bring your knife. So they went out there and smashed the dude, bro. He left on a gurney.
Does rape actually happen, or is it like you're saying, like the guys try to finesse somebody? Do they literally, though, will that happen, like force somebody to do that?
Yeah, it happens, man. It's not a joke, man. A lot of dudes, they say a lot of stuff about like a lot of the Indian dudes in there, man. They get drunk, they want to fight or fuck. And that's pretty much what they say, bro. And them Indian dudes, man, it's crazy, dude. But yeah, dudes, there was an incident in Big Sandy where dude was actually a gay dude, right? He was in education. Dude tried to rape him, and he killed the dude in Big Sandy, bro. He ended up going to the hole, but he ended up getting out like a year later and came back out on the compound where dude tried to rape him, man. And you hear stories where dudes are like, oh no, they don't have to rape no one in there, man. They got dudes, that they can just fuck or whatever. But really, bro, people are raping people in there, man. That's really going on. That really happens. You really got booty bandits. And usually it's older dudes that have been in there a long time, and they try to play on, younger dudes, man. But in the cars that I've been in, like the white car, we don't allow that stuff, man. Not in federal prison. Dudes are, you know what gunners are? Dudes jacking off to the women and all that.
Yeah.
So, like, we don't allow that, dude. If you're a gunner, like when I was in Big Sandy, they would give you a yellow card when you got there. And the yellow card was a big yellow piece of plastic. And you had to give that to the cop everywhere you went. It meant that you were a gunner. So if you came to Big Sandy and you were a white dude, as soon as you get there, SIS issues you a yellow card. Dude, you're not going to be there 24 hours. And they're not just letting you leave. You're leaving their way. You're getting smashed, stabbed. They have no problem, man. People volunteer all the time. Like, yeah, man, I'll step up. I want to stab that dude. And they stab people in there, bro. My cellie stabbed the CO over a gallon of wine. I talk about that in the book.
In Florida, man, and state prison, the gunners are, man, they're like on another level. They like think in their head they're having a relationship with the guard they're gunning. They're like, oh, dog, she's been to eat me up and all this crazy shit. It's disgusting, bro.
Absolutely outrageous, man.
Yeah.
I look at people like dudes that do that shit, man. I got a mother, I got a sister. Them dudes to me are sex offenders, homie. So
no, definitely, bro.
Some cars allow their people to do that shit, man. Prison ain't the way it used to be back in the day. You know what I mean? Where there was some kind of respect and, you didn't do certain things. This gunning thing's like a new phenomenon or something, man, within the last 10 years. When I first went in, it wasn't like that either, but it started to happen. You know what I mean? It's just, you're like, what's the matter with these dudes?
Yeah, that's fucked up, man. What did you experience when you were in federal prison as far as like, I know you said you were in the Boston and New York car and you were with the white boys, but is there a racial tension in federal prison between different cars?
Oh, 100%. I talk about that in the book, man, where we had a white broom, a white mop bucket, black broom, black mop bucket. And the racism is on both sides, man. You know what I mean? It's segregated. The Mexicans, some of the Mexican gangs like the Southsiders, Mexican Mafia, they don't do business with other races, certain races, because they say, hey, look, this race causes problems. So we'd rather not do any business to eliminate, any issues, because if there's an issue, especially with the Serenos, bro, the Mexican Mafia, they got a policy, bro. They're not playing no games. They're stabbing you, bro. They don't give a shit. I mean, they had an issue with a dude, a Spanish kid out of New York, where the black hand dude had an issue with him. And dude, they stabbed this dude, Little Will, like 50 times over like a gram of dope. And they didn't kill him. I don't know how, but they went and stabbed the dude like 50 something times. But yeah, man, everything's racially segregated, man. The whites sit with the whites, the blacks sit with the blacks, Hispanics sit with the Hispanics. And, a lot of black dudes, they don't really want to mess with no white dudes either. And they don't want to mess with no Mexicans. They like being with their own people, man. Yeah. So it's on both sides, bro. You know what I mean? When
you were in there, like what car was the dominant one?
At Big Sandy, I want to say the Southsiders, man. There was about 500 Mexican dudes over there, Hispanics. And you knew that they meant business. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I'll tell you this, too. A lot of the white dudes in a maximum security prison, in federal prison at least, they don't play no games either, bro. People are like balls to the wall. It's whatever. Like they don't care. We had a dude, man, out of Texas. He was at ABT, Swift. Real, I don't really want to say his real name on here, but it doesn't matter because for real, bro, he turned out to be a rat too. But he was a viciously violent dude, even though he was a rat, right? The dude was viciously violent, bro. And he didn't give a shit. They ended up beating the dude up on the Super Bowl, and because the dude got drunk, was getting cocky or whatever, and they paralyzed the dude, bro. He's paralyzed now, and dude, he ended up with another 4 years. That's it. But they stopped the dude so bad he was paralyzed.
That's crazy, man. Yeah, and state in Florida, man, like it's hard to find some white boys that are really living like that. It's few and far between, man. So That's what I was asking to see. But obviously, in the federal prison system, the white boys are bumping like that. Then.
Oh yeah, the white dudes are serious, bro. They don't play no games. Everybody in there, man. Everybody that's in a car in federal prison, in a maximum security prison, you know that it's serious, man. Dudes are ready to die, man. Like, like I said, I'm a pretty big kid. I went in at 24, 40 years. At the time when I first went in, that was my life. I thought I was never getting out, and I really didn't care, bro. And I mean, at first you're a little nervous going into that environment, but when your mind is set on, hey, I don't really care if they kill me, man, or because I'm never getting out anyway. You feel like, man, they're going to do me a favor. And people, a lot of people, man, fake it to make it, man. But when you walk in there at 24 with a 40-year sentence, I'm like, dude, I'm going in at 24. I'm going to get out when I'm 64. If I make it out, what do I really care about, bro? They took everything. There's nothing left that you can do to hurt me. Putting me in the shoe for a year, that don't hurt me. Taking my commissary, that don't hurt me. I just send money to someone else. Taking my phone, I don't really care because there ain't really no one to talk to anymore, man. Everybody's gone. The only person that, really sticks by you is Mom Dukes, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of that stuff don't matter, bro. No, it didn't matter. But when I started to see that the laws were changing, I was like, look, man, I need to change my life. I do want to get out of prison. I do want to have a life. I want to put this shit behind me. And, that ended up becoming my focus. I went in February 4, 2003, 2010, I started changing my life, man.
So was it in prison that you started writing the book and getting that ready, or when did you start doing that?
Well, I ended up doing a year in the hole, right? I was in the hole for about a year. I was under investigation. So when I went to the hole, I just said, man, I might as well do something with my life, right? And I started writing my book in the hole. And I, putting down all my memories. I just was writing it on a pad. And then about 3-4 months in, I was like, man, I'm just going to write this book. And I wrote the book. And one of my homeboys, really my homeboy was like, man, write a book. He was with me in Big Sandy. He ended up getting stabbed. They stabbed him like 39 times. And he was the wrong dude. He came from Hazleton, and they thought he was someone else. And they stabbed him, bro, 39 times. He lived, bro, punctured both lungs, stabbed him through his nose. He looks like he's got a hair lip now, went all the way through his lip, stabbed him in both of his hands when he was trying to fight back. And he was the wrong dude, bro. They thought he was someone else. And I was already in the hole over there. So when he came to the hole, we ended up becoming cellies, but it was my homeboy from my city. So he was like, man, you should write a book, man. You can write. And that's when I was like, yeah, man, I started writing down notes, and then I started putting the book together.
That's what's up, man. So did you finish it in prison, or did that happen when you got out?
Well, I had put the book on the shelf for a little while, right? Just like, I had already wrote a rough draft, then I wrote another rough draft, and I put it on the shelf. And then when I won my case, and I said, man, I'm getting out in 4 months. I need to have this book done. So I finished the book when I was going back and forth to court for the compassionate release. And I finished the book in the holding center, man. I had my family send the book back in and put it together.
That's what's up, man. So when you were in there, bro, did you see inmates get into relationships with the guards or the correctional officers?
I've seen some prisoners do that. That stuff happens. You know what I mean? It's not it's not a secret. I had a big Hispanic girl, man, that liked me when I was in Coleman, and she was from Brooklyn.
Oh, happy.
And she kept thinking I was from Brooklyn. I'm like, no, I'm from Rochester. She's like, no, you're from Brooklyn. So I flirted with her back and forth, you know what I mean? But never no real relationship, nothing like that. But I've seen dudes that pulled chicks, bro. When I was in Raybrook, the dude pulled the education lady. She was married, had a daughter. He pulled her. They ended up getting knocked because when they had the graduation, he sang that Ed Sheeran song to her, and she brought him a Cuban link that was like $7-8 grand. And the SIS people seen it in the pictures that they were taking together. And they're like,
damn,
where'd you get that chain at? They seen her come in with the chain on, and now he had the chain on. So they got themselves knocked. But I definitely seen that over there. There was a kid that was the orderly in the shoe, and her husband worked at Big Sandy, bro. And this dude pulled that dude's chick, and she was smoking hot. She was a nurse, and dude pulled her, man. He was down there banging her in the laundry room, man. So
that's crazy.
It was a white dude out of Missouri, man.
When you were in there, bro, like when, in state prison, the funding's low, they use the money for whatever they want to use it for. Like when you're in federal prison, like, are you guys getting hooked up with clothes? Do you have a TV? Like, how does that all work when you go in?
Let me tell you this. I was in state prison too. I was in New York State prison, right? And I used to hear about federal prison. State prison was 10 times better than federal prison. In federal prison, you don't get no TV. in your cell. The clothes, dude, you can get clothes. I used to buy clothes from the dudes at the state shop, right? At laundry. I used to have to buy my own shit, man. It's hard to get things. People think that, oh, federal prison's nice. It's not, dude. The food is absolutely horrible. We had these burgers. I used to call them pink slime. I quit eating any type of ground beef in there because it was so bad you couldn't even eat the shit, man. So it's a misconception. Clothes are hard to get. You can buy your own shit on commissary, right? But as far as getting state clothes and all that, dude, when I went to USP Coleman, and this is a true story, right? When I went there, the first day they gave me half a mattress. Like the plastic was ripped off the mattress. There was only half the foam. I had that mattress for 3 days. I went there on a Friday. On Monday, they were telling me we're gonna get you a mattress. They never got it. So the next day I went to the warden and said, yo, bro, I don't got a mattress. And the warden kind of got smart with me. And I'm like, look, man, before I'm an inmate, a prisoner, or anything, I'm a man, bro. I'm telling you, I need a mattress. And they ended up getting me a mattress. But I had to get in an argument with the warden, dude. They gave me half a mattress. And back then, all the mattresses were old, used. There's piss stains on them. I've gotten mattresses with blood on it. And I'll just buy someone's mattress, dude. Ain't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like, oh, you got a new mattress? I paid $100 for a mattress. I swear to God. I paid $100 on the wire for a brand new mattress before.
Were they taking other old mattresses and stuffing them and making new ones? Could you pay someone to do that?
Well, when I told you I paid for that new mattress, what it was is the dude opened one mattress and put a second mattress in there.
Yeah, yeah.
So that was the mattress that I had. Because them beds, man, after a few years, they kill you, man. That metal kills you, you know?
Yeah.
On that bed frame.
Were you in a cell or did you have a bunkie? Like, what's the living situation like?
Yeah, Big Sandy, all federal maximum security prisons that I've been in, it's they're double bunked. But there have been times where I went 4 or 5 months without a cellie. But yeah, when I first went in there, they're double bunked. You know, you got the toilet, the sink, little desk, 2 beds. But dudes are cutting metal out of the beds. You got holes in your bed, you know.
Yeah.
Guys out of them. I mean, bone crushers for real.
When did you start putting everything together to start working on getting yourself out?
Well, actually, man, I was real cool with this one dude, right? He was out of North Carolina, this black dude named Cedric Dean. And he said, look, man, you know, I always wanted nice stuff in prison. Even though I was in prison, I had Nike sunglasses, a white G-Shock. Anybody that came with anything nice, I bought it. You know, I was always a clean-cut dude in the street. Nice chain. So he was like, look, man, they're going to change the law, man. They're going to bring parole back. He said, when they do, what are you going to go tell them, man? You're going to go tell them, yeah, man, I got 5 write-ups. I was selling dope. I got caught with a knife. He said, that's going to be your resume. Or you can start programming, and that'll be your resume. But I'm telling you, they're going to change the law. He's like, come to this class, man. So I went to a class, a Leaders Breed Leaders class. And I listened to it. It's kind of like in one ear, out the other. But then I started thinking, man, this dude's probably right. So I started programming, man. I ended up getting a college degree. I listened to him. I ended up teaching some programs. I wrote some of my own programs in prison, put together an incarceration prevention class for kids, the whole curriculum, where you taking these kids into the federal courthouse, which I want to implement this spring here in my city. Take them into the federal courthouse, let them see, man, you get caught with 2 guns, that's 30 years, right? You're in a conspiracy. That's what they did to me. Gave me 5 for the first gun, which was a 22 rifle. No, it was a 12-gauge shotgun. The second gun was a 22 rifle that they found in a crack house that they tied to me. They gave me 25 years for that and 10 for the crack. So I want to, you know, in my curriculum, I want to take these kids into the federal courthouse and see what could really happen. Take them into the morgue. Consequences of their actions. You beef with a dude on Facebook over a chick at 16, 17 years old. Guess what? You go over there, dude's like, yeah, well, come over here and let's see what's happening. And you go over there and you shoot the dude and he's dead. Now, guess what? That's the consequence. Now it's 25 to life and the girl's gone. She was gone before you ever shot the dude. So I want to teach them kids that, man, you know. That's why we put that curriculum together.
Yeah, man, I think that's a good thing that you're doing, man, because, you know, when we were young, we were on the bullshit and we didn't have anybody. I didn't have anybody there to show me like the stuff that you're talking about. And, you know, if I did, who knows, maybe I would have stopped doing what I was doing. So when you got out, where did you go when you got out, man? Like, did you have a setup? Did you have a family member to go to? How did all that go down?
When I first got out, I went to my uncle's house, right? And I was over there for a couple of days and some things were going on out there in the street, man. Because when I went to jail, he lived in a nice neighborhood. When I came home, it was a bad neighborhood, man. They had some dudes shooting out over there. And it was real scary for me to be there, right? So I was like, look, I'm getting out of here because I'm trying to make it, bro. I just did 17 years in federal prison. I'm not trying to get I've been through too much for my story to end like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for real.
So I got out of there, bro, and I ended up going to a hotel. I stayed at a hotel for like 2 weeks. And then I ended up getting an apartment. I got my own place out in the suburbs now, right? I'm out of the city. So I got me a place out in the suburbs and all that, man. Put my paralegal prison consultant firm together, Freedom Fighters. And I started working, man, 13, 14-hour days. Got a bunch of dudes. I got 40 dudes out of prison. 2 of them had life sentences. 1 out of Florida, white dude named Lonnie Lee Nichols. I got him out. He had life, and I was in federal prison. And I got another dude out, Ronnie Lauderdale, older black dude, was my buddy, man. When I got to the low, he come into the law library and said, man, I need to get out. And I said, look, I don't think it's going to happen. But if you want to try it, man, this is what I would charge you. Let's do it. We did it. I got out June 25th, 2020. He got out June 26th, the next day after me. His judge actually granted it. And the dude's home and doing really well, and I'm happy for him.
For the people that, stay up on the episodes, we had Jimmy Romans on here that got sentenced to life in federal prison, and he's out. And you had a part in doing that, right?
Jimmy ended up becoming my best friend in prison, right? And I write clemency petitions too. And I had helped a couple dudes with Obama get out just from prison. So I look at his clemency petition. I'm like, yo, bro, we got to fix this thing up. So I hand wrote everything, put everything together. I sent it out to Lisa Jacoby, who was the #1 person who helped me when I got out of prison. She was my advocate, man. And she really helped me a lot. And I sent it to her, asked her to type it up, format it, put everything together, put all the certificates together. She did that. She sent it back into the prison. She shot it to the pardon office through an email. And eventually, when I got out of prison for the 4 or 5 months, I just pushed real hard for Jimmy. And there was other people involved. But for real, some people take credit. But I really pushed for Jimmy. Because if I didn't, someone else would have had his slot. And that's just keeping it real. And Jimmy ended up getting out under President Trump, man. And he's a good dude. Life for weed. And when I left prison, bro, if dudes watching your show, you form relationships in there, friendships, bro. If I break bread with you, man, in prison, for real, I'm willing to die for you, man. So when I left, I've had so many dudes leave prison and say, Chad, when I get out, I'm going to write you, I'm going to do. And I never heard from none of them, bro, not one. But when I told Jimmy, I said, I'm getting you out. Because I used to think, dude, if Jimmy got out on clemency and I didn't, I was like, damn, I'm going to be hurt because this is the dude I spun the yard with every day. I played softball with this dude every day. I hooped with this dude every day. We ate together, man. And I was like, damn, if he gets out, I'm going to be twisted. So I can only imagine how he felt when they called me and said, yo, bro, pack your shit. You're out of here. So, man, when I got out, I did everything I said I was going to do. I pushed to get him out along with a bunch of other people, man, dudes and chicks, bro. Chicks in federal prison serving life, Michelle West. I pushed for all those people, man. Ian Owens, dude's got like 300 years. I pushed for them dudes, man, because I know what it's like to be in there praying that someone would help me, bro. And it took years for someone to help me, which ended up being Amy Pova from the Can Do organization and Lisa Jacoby, man. Without them, I was twisted, bro. I wasn't never getting out.
Yeah, I even said it when I was interviewing him. I mean, that says a lot about your character. I know that if we were in federal prison, we probably would have been spinning the yard and eating too, because you can tell who you can vibe with and who you can, trust on that kind of level. You know what I'm saying? So I respect that, bro. How did you meet Lisa Jacoby? Where did she come into your life at?
Well, this is what happened with Lisa, right? I got a letter one day and we were locked down. I used to get a lot of fan mail, bro. Like I had stuff all over the internet. So we get locked down and I get this letter and the lady says, hey, look, you don't know me, but I know you. She said she was an older woman, told me about her son. Her son's a Navy SEAL, bro, badass dude. And she was like, look, I know you, but you don't know me. I wasn't going to write her back, but she was from my city. And we got locked down. My homeboy's like, write her back. I'm like, dude, I didn't have time to write letters. I did legal work every day. So I ended up writing her back because I was a little curious. How do you know me?
Yeah.
So she writes back and says, look, I used to run the Federal Public Defender's Office for 22 years in your city. My office represented your co-defendant. I'm retired now, and I want to help you out. I want to help you get out. I never forgot about you because you ended up with 40 years. You always stuck in my mind. So, of course, I wrote her back. She wrote me back. She wanted to come visit me. She met with me on a visit. We talked about my case, went over all my paperwork, and she went to bat for me, dude. She knew my judge personally. She went and talked to the judge, took him my file, and said, look, this dude changed his life. In the beginning, it was rocky, but, he's got a college degree now. He's got over 100 programs. He tutors college students in prison. He started his own GED class, alternative violence project facilitator. This dude deserves a second shot. And for real, bro, I believe if she didn't help me, I probably wouldn't be here talking to you today. So that's how I met Lisa Jacoby, man. She reached out to me and remembered who I was.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Lisa Jacoby, because it's people like that, bro. Like, they're far. It's hard to meet somebody like that in this life, bro.
100%, man. It's hard.
So what do you got going on now in your life? You said you got an apartment. You're working legal cases. Tell the people watching about all that.
All right. So when I got out, me and Lisa, we put together a business called Freedom Fighters, paralegal and prison consultant firm. So when I got out, everything was already up, ready to go. And I started doing legal work, man, 13, 14 hours a day, 2255s, compassionate releases, clemency petitions. So we were working hand in hand. I've been doing that for the last 6 months. But dude, I work 13, 14 hours a day. And, you know, with all the COVID, it was almost impossible to get your license, to do anything. But I ended up passing my road test today, got my license, just bought a car. So, you know, life's looking up, right? I'm living my best life, like that song says. But while I'm living my best life, dude, I'm still doing everything that I said I would do, man. This is my life. I've lived in the law library, man, all them years. So this is my life. This is what I do, man. I like saving people, man. It's good when you get someone out of prison, right? And people are excited. You see them with their family, and you're like, man, I hope that dude get his life back. And I always say it's by the grace of God, right? God working through me. Some of your viewers might not want to hear that, but that's just the truth, bro. I believe that God used me as a tool, man, to help people. And I love what I do. But there's a reason why I love what I do. Because in the federal criminal justice system, these people do nasty shit to people, man. I was 24. I'm the first to tell you I deserve to go to prison. But I didn't deserve a 40-year prison sentence, bro. I did not deserve 40 years in prison. And I believe that people are redeemable, man. People deserve a second chance to reclaim their lives. Do we have to send dudes that when you send I just seen a case the other day. I used to write about it. Dude got out. He was 19 years old. They gave him 200 years, bro. He was robbing Domino pizzas, man. What was he getting? $300-400? Dude shouldn't be robbing Domino's pizza, but he shouldn't be getting 200 years, man, at 19.
When they give
let him out.
When they give a chomo fucking 5 years for raping a 5-year-old or some shit.
I've seen sentences like that too, man.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
It is. It's crazy. It's outrageous, man.
So
absolutely outrageous.
So I know you got a book. It's on Amazon. So I'm going to link your book in the description of this video. Do you have any other? I know you were
That's
talking
the book
about,
right there.
Yeah, that's it.
Blood on the razor wire. I'm promising your viewers right now that if they watch Gangland or they tune into your show or 60 Minutes, I don't even like mentioning that show, but if you're into that type of stuff, man, or like them old school movies like what was it, Blood In, Blood Out,
yeah,
Menace to Society, shit like that, bro. This is the book, man. You're missing out. If you don't read that book, you're missing out. And it ain't about promoting the book, because I don't really make shit off the book. But hopefully we turn that book into a movie, man, something, or a series like Snowfall, something like that. And I promise people something big like that's coming, because I'm in talks right now with some writers on some major shows right now and involved in some movies and stuff like that. So get the book, man, before you see the movie, because it's coming. My story's 10 times better than White Boy Rick's, and that's a promise. But that's because my shit's real, man.
Yeah, facts, bro. Yeah, man, if you're watching right now, go ahead and hit that link in the description and go get the man's book. Obviously, it's good. There's tons of people talking about it. It's trending, man, I guess is what you could say. Do you have any other social media, anything you want to give a shout out to, or anyone you want to shout out?
Well, I got that Instagram, right? And I think, man, I don't remember all this stuff. Twitter, I can't really work Twitter yet.
No, bro.
But I've been working Instagram, and I've been learning about that, so that people can hit me up on Instagram, Chad Marks, Marks. Shout outs, man. Look, man, I'm giving a shout out to all the brothers locked up behind bars and the women that got sentenced to draconian sentences that deserve second chances, like Ian Owens, Navarro Brooks. This kid's got 200-something years, went to jail at 19 years old, man. I got a real strong friend in there, Chris Hunter, 35 years for a nonviolent drug crime. They called him Platinum. He's out of Dayton, Ohio. And one of my best friends, like on the level of Jimmy Romans, was Bradley Barn. Bradley and Chris Hunter and Jimmy Romans were my three best dudes. Bradley Barn got sentenced to 20 years out of Pennsylvania, been in 11, 12 years, man. And all he was the middleman. And he got sentenced under a law that just got changed under the First Step Act, and he still can't get out, man. I did his legal work. It's been sitting in the judge's chambers for 7-8 months, man. Dude deserves to get out.
If you could say anything to like a young person or maybe even a mom and a dad that their kid is, you know, going through shit and he's in prison or he's about to go to prison, you know, what would you say to somebody like that?
All right, man, you know what? We're going to say something real, right? When I was a kid, I thought scared straight was cool, right? Going into a prison. I went to scared straight. I went to Attica. I thought it was cool, man. It didn't scare me, right? But I want kids to know that it's not about scaring you, man. The prison part that should keep you out of prison, you know, at night when you go to bed, you don't want to go to bed hungry, man. That shit happens in prison, man. Or being able to tell your mother that you love her, man, before you lay down. Or even being able to take care of your mother when she gets older. Because when you're sitting in prison, the only person that's going to be there for you, man, for real at the end is your mother, 99% of the time. And there's going to come a point, man, if you're doing 30, 40 years like I was, you might never see your mother again. You're not going to be there when she needs you. Those are the things that matter, man. And for parents that got kids that are on the wrong road, hey, look, man, sit your son down, sit your daughter down, and you don't have to be nasty. Just tell them, man, I love you. I care about you. And these are the roads. This is the reality. If you take this road, then this is what's going to happen. I'm a firm believer that all roads in life, for good or evil, begin with one small step. When you take the step or you choose that step, that's the path that you choose. And unfortunately, some of these kids are going to choose that wrong path. It's just going to happen. But truth be told, man, that's not the path that they want to go on. But sometimes we got to live and we got to learn. Yeah. And unfortunately, man, people are going to pay that price of misery, loneliness, not being happy. That shit's real. That's the real shit about prison. You know, all the movies, the tough guy shit. It's cool to be a tough guy. But when you lay down at night, it's just you by yourself, man. Thinking about the time that you got and the shit you're missing out on, man. The girls, the car, you know, having a good life, you know, four-wheelers, jet skis, the things that matter, man. Having a son, coaching your son's football team, being able to go to a football game, watching a UFC fight, all that shit's out the window, man. Now you got some people that you know you can whoop in the street one-on-one telling you what to do. Do you really want to live like that? Do you really want to live that life?
Nah, bro. Nah, I ain't on that. That's for the birds. But hey, man, I just wanted to thank you for coming back on the channel, and we'll probably bring you back on again when, you know, you become a Hollywood movie writer and shit. And so, yeah, man, I appreciate it, man. And if you guys haven't, go ahead and check his book out. After you do that, subscribe to this channel. And don't forget to turn your post notifications on all. So every time we drop an episode, you can hear it first. And with that is DOC TV, and we're out.